What? What do you guys say?
My brother and I, like, man.
Yeah.
Back with, like, Red Alert was the coolest. Or, like, Command and Conquer. I remember my brother and his friend buying Command and Conquer.
Command and Conquer?
It's so old. Yeah, it's like 93. It's like the first game I remember him buying.
93?
I remember
Dude, you
like,
were maybe 3 at the time.
I know. They're like, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't 93. It was a lot ago. But, I remember, like, the microphone we had was just this, like, it was like a boom mic. It was like a small, one of those, like, shitty, ugly, cream plastic Microsoft style, like, boom mics. Had some, like, teal 80s writing spray painted on it. It was awful. But it came out, like, this far. And you'd, like, lean in and be like, oh, yeah. It was so weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, anyway, hey, this is JD, just saying. And on the last episode, we went to Krillog's Cave. It's over here, if you don't remember. And, which would be weird because I'm uploading all 5 of these videos at the same time. One of which will be something you will enjoy. And in this episode, we will be heading into this room.
Yeah,
which,
fine,
if you played Bandoth, you would know where to go. And honestly, I'm tired of dying. I'm sure some people are tired of watching me die. Whoa,
alright.
shoot. Alright, let's look around here. And if you notice, you see a bunch of symbols on the floor. Ask questions, I'll hate you. Anyway, that's the only floor, well, the only section of the table I remember. You'll notice they all look like the section of the table. Remembering the section of the table, that's how you go on to the next floor. So, that being said, let's go off and check the table real quick. I've watched this table way too many times. I'm not even kidding, Wells. By the way, this is Wells, who's in the room with me.
So the table in here...
Yeah, this table in...
on that disc. Exactly.
This table in here, you're supposed to know because there's a question mark. By the way, if there's a question mark, you should just look at it. This enormous round table is ornamented with elaborate dwarven inscriptions. So the next room in that we should look at is this, like, double axe thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the next room is then double rings.
Right.
By the way, he's a big gamer too, so I figured maybe if I brought in another gamer, it'd be cool to have some feedback, see what I'm looking at. So here's the double axes. You hear a loud click, followed by 11 similar sounding clicks echoing throughout the room. If you actually are curious, there are 12 circles in every one of these rings that will respond to you stepping on them. Come on, respond. Respond! Respond! There we go. You hear a loud click, followed by 11 similar sounding clicks echoing throughout the room. Finally, you hear a loud clattering coming from the round table room. As I was saying, let's go outside now. You must gather your party before venturing forth. That's what it says every time. You play Baldur's Gate 2, right?
Yeah, they kept that going.
Yeah, you know that it says that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not insane. That's what a computer says.
Nah.
Well, the game says. As you might recognize, there's 3 hammers there, all standing up. 2 hammers there, standing up, and then this one, which you could have grabbed at the beginning. You get 56,000 points of experience for opening that lever. What does that lever do?
Nah, I don't think
You
so.
get to go over here to what was that circle, now becoming a stairwell downwards. By the way, if you were curious, this is what you walked in on. The dullest part of the game.
Oh,
What, this is like just
alright.
random dungeon?
Well, it's random dungeon. Also, we're gonna have Panis Hayes here come in.
Okay.
And I'm only saying this for the one time because I've been through this one section so many times I'm infuriated.
Oh,
Red
just
spot.
Can't get past something.
You know, I've gotten past it. It's just every time that I get past it, it doesn't record my audio.
Oh.
And to the point that I don't care that it records my audio. You're gonna get really crappy audio. I'm sorry, audience. You'll get it. And let me read this. This trap has left me for dead. But it's just as well. I have felt the evil within me since the moment I stepped foot in the crypt. My actions no longer my own, my thoughts confused, my will gone. Perhaps another will discover the disturbance before it manages to overcome them. I found another route through a gaping hole in one of the prison cells in the Orog-infested area above the chamber. But that led to yet more of their falcon and a large, grotesque beast that I could have sworn was speaking to me. Perhaps the evil was within my mind even then. I enjoyed speaking slowly there. By the way, that was Krillog's cave, as I mentioned at the beginning of this. Anyway. Oh my.
Sorry.
Way to go. Probably should have told you to turn off your cell phone before this.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. I don't care. I mean, honestly, I just want to get the next 4 videos recorded. By the way, Panacea says you suddenly felt very, very cold. All right, let's look at you.
Anytime.
Anytime. Defiler, have you two come to desecrate the remains of our home? Alright, even slightly how I am, I really have to tell you, or advise you, don't say yes. Don't. Just don't. Just no. Absolutely not. Then why have you come to disturb the Temple of Moradin? I was hoping to learn more about the conflict that occurred within this area. Two catastrophes occurred within Dornsteep. The first was the destruction of our community at the hands of the orcs. More recently, there has been the occupation of our cemetery, the Tears of the Dead, by the necromancer Terrican. Terrican? Terrican is a wretched necromancer that came to Dorn shortly after the stripe that put an end to our community. He was aware of the tragedy that griped Dornsteep, and knew it would serve as fertile ground to continue his research. With air quotes. What was he researching? Although, let me point out right here, wretched necromancer. During the construction of of the Deep, we had the misfortune of uncovering a cavern that housed an ancient vortex from the negative energy plane. If anyone played Mortal Kombat, it's called the Negaverse. It's where all the dead people go. Now, I don't know if some being from that plane felt our presence, or if the vortex itself was disturbed by the intrusion, but shortly thereafter, undead began to appear. And these undead invaded Dornsteep. At first, it was merely a skeleton or two, nothing we couldn't handle, but over time, we received more and more reports of undead sightings. In the end, I don't think any of us were prepared for what will become known as the Battle of the Dead. Dead? Did I say dead right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Just make sure. How the battle began. One morning, our community awoke to the screams of the son of Jamoth. He'd been playing with some of the caves near the forge and claimed he had seen a small group of skeletons. We sent a few men down to investigate. They returned, badly wounded. What they found? By the way, just noting, you and I have both heard Terrican and Jamoth before. Just saying. Hundreds of skeletons, zombies, ghouls, and other undead had suddenly appeared in the Vortis cave, preparing to attack the settlement. With time working against us, we assembled our remaining soldiers and went forth to vanquish the deceased. But hundreds of undead, with even greater numbers to follow, the dwarves would have been greatly outnumbered. No Dorn's dwarf would have conceded defeat while our community was threatened. Our wounded began to acclimate, and many our brethren joined their attackers in spiritual unrest that day. Just as it appeared that we might have to retreat, a miracle occurred. Sorry, Wells is slightly laughing at me. Miracle? From within the tines of flesh and bones emerged Jamoth, hacking at the dead around him with a fevered glee, bellowing with laughter. With each swing of his weapon, the undead around him disintegrated, regardless of whether he struck them or not. It was a beautiful sight to see, my friend. So undead fell around him just by his presence. How is this possible? Jamoth and our community were touched by Moradin. Sandusky, you mean. That day. We later discovered that the vortex that had brought forth the undead was somehow reversed, returning the spirits to their home within the plane of negative energy. Then Terrican came along. As a necromancer, he must have heard about the vortex, correct? Yes. Once the community was no longer inhabited these chambers, Terrican took up residence in the Hall of Heroes, with the determination to restore the Vortis. He was convinced that if he unlocks the secrets, he will be able to manipulate other Vortices throughout the Faerun. Right, Faerun sounds really a lot like... I can't be the only one who thinks that sounds a lot like Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. How? It seems the energies of the Vortis would kill any man that approached it. Terrakin knew no mortal man could ever master the Vortis, and shortly after his arrival in our home, he began preparing himself for the rituals necessary to become a Lich. Fortunately, Terrakin must have neglected some of the proper enchantments, as the power he wields are inferior to much of his kind. If so, can you stop him? Terrakin is much more powerful than I. I am fortunate I could continue to inhabit this chamber with my own mind. Once Terrakin learns of any dead within these halls, he seeks to destroy their wills with his necromantic arts. Anything that lives, he slays. If Terrakin steps in our path, he'll be the one who will be slain. Yeah, I know, we're cocky, aren't we?
A little bit.
I know, it's very cocky, yeah.
There.
Well, the thing is, the guy who's speaking right now has a charisma of 19 and also is chaotic evil. So, yeah, exactly. Sorry, still talking to Wells. He could probably speak up a little bit if you wanted to say anything.
I'm thinking, actually, you mentioned Elder Scrolls, and I keep thinking about how the game really just has the same sort of plots as this. They're just put in, like, little journals and hidden around.
Exactly.
It's so similar once you think about it, though.
It would not be an easy task. You cannot destroy Terrakin by striking him down. It is his life force that sustains him, not his shell. Life force? By the way, you don't want to ask the others two. There's... Whoa! Dang it! Just a sec. What was you researching? Oh, dang it. Undead. I'm so mad that I accidentally clicked that. Had the battle begin. What did they find? 100 undead. A miracle. So the undead fell to him in the prison. How is that possible? Terrakin came along as a necromancer. How it seems the energy of the Vortis would kill him. If so, can you stop him? If Terrakin steps in our path, he'll be the one who will be slain. There we go. Thank you. The back's in the normal.
Like that fucking owl from Ocarina of Time.
Yes! Oh, what was his name? It rhymes. It rhymes.
Just that fucking
Stupid owl in Ocarina of Time. Do you understand? Yes.
Keep hitting A.
But don't hit A at the last.
God damn it.
Not at the last question, please. That would be not an easy task. You cannot destroy Terrakin by striking him down. It is life force that sustains him, not his shell. Life force. Liches store their life forces within specially constructed... Okay. I've seen this video at least 7 times.
Phylacteries.
Okay, thank you.
Dragon Age, dude.
Phylacteries.
It's just
Most
like
liches go to great lengths to protect their phylacteries, often placing them in remote locations where no one can find them. That should be no one, by the way. Then safeguarding them with enchantments. Terrakin, however, feels that his phylactery is safe as close to him, and he has placed them within a crypt in the Hall of Heroes, because no basic progressive element of lore or storyline would be able to work unless there was an idiot antagonist.
Or some Hall of Heroes.
Never
heard that one before.
Yeah, exactly. So all we have to do is reach there and destroy it. Oh, wait, here it comes. The phylactery is not something that can be destroyed by common means. To destroy it, you'll have to remove it from this plane, a daunting task to be certain. Let's be honest. No less daunting than the other impossibilities we've been forced to endure in coming north, because the south is better, period. How can we remove this phylactery from this plane? That is where fortune favors us. The very vortex that Terrakin is studying can destroy him as well. It lies within the halls of heroes, inside the tombs of Jamoth. Any undead being, regardless of power, is pulled back to the dreadful plane to existence upon entry into this tomb. That is why I have never been able to enter the tomb myself. So I would need to take the phylactery inside Jamoth's tomb to destroy Terrakin. That doesn't sound too difficult. But to reach the Hall of Heroes, because we can't just go straight forward into it, you will need to pass through the Tears of the Dead, where Terrakin resides. Not only that, but the great doors of the Halls of Heroes locked, and I'm certain Terrakin possesses the key. If you defeat Terrakin's physical form, make haste to the Halls of Heroes, because just saying open the door would be too stupid. For he will only be subdued for a short while. I'll see what I can do. Let me ask you another question, and by that I mean, we're all in need of aid. Heal you, by the way. So we're gonna heal him real quick, because we need to have him healed a little bit. Let's have everyone gather up.
Oh, alright.
Yeah. Jeremiah talks for a little while. We'll say a few short things. Anyway. So, in the next video, I guess what we'll be doing, since we went and cleared off the Dwarven Puzzle Room, as it's called, and we realized that the beautiful monument appears to represent Dwarven craftsmanship in the art of metallurgy, it also seems to have at one time been something functional. We will progress onto the next room, which is the Tears of the Dead, obviously, and we will go and kill Terrican, because Kim, that's why. So, anyway, it's JD, just saying, and also
Chris
Wells.
pleasure.
He doesn't really want to speak right now. You'll hear him every once in a while. Anyway, rate, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you think, what you don't think, if you can think, and how I get better at the SLPs. Anyway, later.